The spies declare war on Trump, and Big Soda turns MAGA against MAHA. It's 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for Wednesday, March 26th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. Item number 5 today, the IC. That's the intelligence community. Let me share some insight from the excellent website, The Last Refuge. It's a great conservative blog that dives deeper into the political games being played in Washington, D.C. than just about anywhere else on the web. As I told you yesterday, Washington, D.C. is all a Twitter about the accidental invitation of a left-wing magazine, The Atlantic, to a private text chat between White House officials about the military action against Yemen, the Houthis in Yemen. Now, President Trump on Tuesday stood by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, saying it was an unnamed member of Waltz's staff who accidentally sent the invite. And I'm using air quotes here because I find it extremely hard to believe that somebody outside the immediate circle of White House officials who needed to know could be accidentally invited into a private group chat about something like this. Again, Jeffrey Goldberg, editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, no friend of Trump or Trump supporters. He has run many of the now discredited fake news stories about Trump over the last 9 years. Goldberg held the story about being added to this chat until the day before a regularly scheduled meeting of the Senate Intelligence Committee, which then gave the committee the opportunity to blast the heads of the various intelligence agencies appointed by Donald Trump over the release of classified information. Of course, the members of the Trump team denied that any classified information had been released, essentially daring Goldberg to publish more of this text chat, which he has done this Wednesday morning. The end game here appears to be this: pressure everyone who was involved in that chat to recuse themselves from investigations into whether classified information was in fact disclosed to somebody, Jeffrey Goldberg, who was not cleared for that information. The intelligence community then, without the input of the Trump team, will say that the content of the chat was indeed classified, and therefore there'll be weeks and months of leaks to the media about each detail, which will be discussed ad nauseum. The cabinet members will then face calls for their resignation or calls for their impeachment. In short, this is how the intelligence community is trying to protect itself from reform by Trump and his team, by putting Trump and his team on the back foot. Now, having said that, President Trump has responded by signing an executive order declassifying all documents related to the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. That was the investigation back in 2016, 17, 18, launched by the FBI into the Russian collusion with Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. And you know the tricks that they used there. The FBI or somebody in the intelligence community would leak a story to somebody, a friendly member of the press. Then they would use that story that had been published based on the leaked information to go to the FISA court, which is the secret court that authorizes surveillance of American citizens suspected of colluding with foreign enemies, to authorize surveillance of those. Yes. So this is how it looks to me, and admitting I'm an amateur at this, but it looks to me as though President Trump is saying, okay, you guys want to play this game? Let's go. Get your popcorn. This is going to be interesting. Topic number 4, Gaza. Apparently, the United Arab Emirates is lobbying the Trump administration to torpedo a Gaza plan put forward by Egypt and endorsed by the Arab League. This is reported by Middle East Eye, citing officials from the U.S. and Egypt. The Emirati pressure is a dilemma for Egypt because both the UAE and Egypt both back a successor to Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. This would be Mohammed Dahlan, who is a rival to Abbas. He's been exiled. They want to bring him back and install him as the new head of Fatah and the Palestinian Arabs. The UAE's powerful ambassador to the United States, Youssef al-Otaiba, reportedly been lobbying President Trump to put pressure on Egypt to accept forcibly displaced Arabs from Gaza. Now, Egypt's Gaza plan has been criticized by the UAE for not spelling out specifically how it's going to eliminate Hamas. The UAE wants Hamas gone. Egypt's military leadership under the leadership of President al-Sisi, in the middle on the screen behind me there, they have crushed the Muslim Brotherhood. Hamas is an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood, but they do allow Hamas officials some freedom of movement, and Egypt's intelligence services have cooperated to some degree with Hamas members, kind of useful as a thorn in the side of Israel, it appears. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on the Arab side of the equation, Israel's military has drawn up plans to reconquer Gaza, basically to go in and reoccupy Gaza for the first time since it voluntarily withdrew in 2005. This would be its plan to finally defeat Hamas once and for all. This proposal has yet to be approved by Israel's security cabinet, but it was drawn up by the new leadership of the IDF. Again, this would mean Israel essentially taking back Gaza and occupying it for the first time since 2005, when it withdrew because that was going to bring peace. Topic number 3, big soda. Kind of a scandal amongst right-wing conservative influencers here in the United States, as major soda companies apparently attempted to secretly buy off conservative social media personalities to fight against reforms to SNAP. This is food stamps. It all began when an independent journalist on X, Nick Sortor, posted evidence on the outlet that a company called Influenceable was writing big checks to conservative alternative media personalities, MAGA-aligned personalities, on behalf of Big Soda, basically arguing that the government should not infringe on the right of people to buy whatever they want to buy. Government should stay out of personal choice when it comes to food choices. Ex-users like Eric Doherty was one who posted this, quote, "Important, we cannot allow Make America Healthy Again messaging to be used to force needy Americans into not buying certain things. Some officials in D.C. are working on trying to prevent Americans on SNAP food stamps from getting those benefits to purchase any soda," end quote. Now, look, I understand the argument about keeping government out of our personal choices. But the fact is, if they are getting taxpayer money to provide nutritious food to their families, because otherwise they would not be able to afford it, that money should not be spent on things with zero nutritional value, like soda or candy for that matter. Look, when it's taxpayer money, the government gets to have a say in how it is being spent. That's just the way it is. Topic number 2, your DNA may be in the hands of a foreign government. On Monday this week, 23andMe, the shares of that company crashed after the company filed for bankruptcy. While the fate of millions of Americans' DNA data is now subject to a court-supervised sale of the assets of 23andMe, a new report suggests that much of that data may already have been sold, potentially to pharmaceutical firms, including some tied to foreign governments. James O'Keefe of O'Keefe Media Group published a video on Monday featuring an undercover journalist speaking with Nathaniel Johnson. He's a policy advisor with the U.S. Department of the Treasury, who warned her, quote, "Do not give your information to these people," 23andMe, "they sell it to other people," explaining there's a clause in their contract that basically says, like, we can give your information to our shareholders so that they can do stuff. And all of their shareholders are pharmaceutical companies. But some of those pharmaceutical companies are based in other countries. And those pharmaceutical companies in other countries are the property of, like, the Ministry of Defense in Russia, or like owned by China, end quote. If what Mr. Johnson says is even remotely true, then the genetic pool of millions of Americans is now in the hands of foreign governments, and this should be treated as a national security issue. This is why we've been saying for years, don't send your DNA off for these genetic tests to find out your history and who you might be related to, because once you send it off, you have no control over where that DNA goes. Coming up, 4 more terms. Not really, but the odds makers are looking at this as a possibility. I'll explain next on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can support the ministry of Skywatch TV in our continued efforts to share the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the four corners of the world and receive your very own copy of this urgent new work when you order the Mystery of the Red Heifer special offer. Not only does this incredible opportunity include Mondo Gonzalez's new book, The Mystery of the Red Heifer, Israel, the End Times and the Building of the Third Temple, but it also includes the best-selling book, The Rabbis, Donald Trump, and the Top Secret Plan to Build the Third Temple with 5-part television series companion DVD by the late Dr. Thomas Horn. This incredible book with companion DVD uncovers for the first time the mysteries of the Antichrist's rise and his secret plans already in motion to build the abomination of desolation, the event that will trigger the apocalypse. These works reveal the connection between Donald Trump and the Third Temple. Is he Israel's modern-day King Cyrus, chosen by God to oversee its construction? Temple treasures. The recent archaeological discoveries that could reveal the Ark of the Covenant and other relics that tie directly to the construction of the Third Temple. And the abomination of desolation. What it is, why it's coming, and how world leaders are positioning themselves for its arrival right now. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $60. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Mystery of the Red Heifer special offer right now.
Item number 1 today, if you're a betting person, which I am not, but if you are, you might actually get pretty good odds if you were betting on Donald Trump to win the presidency in 2028. Yes, I know the Constitution says 2 terms maximum, but the odds makers at William Hill, it's a British betting company, listed Trump as one of the favorites to win the next presidential race with odds of 5-1. That's a 16.7% chance of securing what would be a 3rd term in office. Now, note that they are listing Trump as a favorite to win the race, not the favorite to win the race. Again, Brits maybe not familiar with our Constitution. He can't do it, but there are people who are ostensibly, presumably, placing bets on this. The leading contender, not surprisingly, Vice President J.D. Vance with 5-2 odds. Trump's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., next in line with 9-1 odds. Democrat governors Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Gavin Newsom of California, also at 9-1 and 10-1 odds, respectively. It is like a game, the way we present politics in the media, and that's on us. We continue our discussion with Mondo Gonzalez, author of the new book, The Mystery of the Red Heifer, this week, the prophetic implications of the red heifer. What are they? Don't miss the program. You can watch it over the air. Our broadcast schedule is at our website, skywatchtv.com/channels, but we'll broadcast on your schedule. You have the power to bring us up whenever you choose. Just add the Skywatch TV channel to Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire TV. Look for the app in their app stores. It's free and brings all of our video content right to your big screen. If you watch us on the internet, YouTube at Skywatch Television, please subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit that like button, or rumble.com/SkywatchTV. You can also carry us around in the palm of your hand by downloading our free mobile app to your smartphone or tablet, whether it's iOS, Android, or Amazon Kindle Fire. We have apps for all of those and links to those app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Follow 5 in 10 online. We post links to news stories we think you'll find important at X at 5_in_10. Subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications at our YouTube channel. That's at 5 in 10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.